Good afternoon, Mel, and thanks for joining us on one of the lockdown sessions. For those of you who are watching who don't know, this is a series of short videos that I'm doing during lockdown number 3, just to kind of help people with various facets of their life and just to get through this period of uncertainty we're all facing. Mel, do you want to just introduce yourself quickly?
Yeah, so I'm a nutritionist and I focus on stress, mental health and well-being, and supporting gut health with the mind-body connection.
Stress, mental health and well-being, they're hot topics at the minute. I think everyone's feeling stressed, mentally low, and their well-being is suffering. What great topics to work in.
Yeah.
The reason that I wanted to talk to you, because a number of people I'm speaking to and sort of trends I'm reading online, a lot of people are thinking that this lockdown is very bad for their health. I know we're doing it to protect people, which I'm in agreement with, but we've got gyms closed, we've got amateur sport closed, it's cold and raining outside, we've got very easy access to fast food, takeaway, alcohol. What tips can you give people just to try to stay healthy in this difficult time?
So, a lot of comfort foods are things like simple carbs, like white bread, white pasta.
McDonald's.
Sorry?
McDonald's.
Yeah, McDonald's, and they all tend to cause a spike in your blood sugar.
Yep.
So when you have that blood sugar spike and the crash, is when you can experience like anxiety, fatigue, irritability, dizziness. So focusing on like whole foods, cooking everything from scratch, and it can be really easy, like batch cooking, freezing foods in advance. That can really help.
Okay. Any particular types of foods that we should be aiming for?
Yeah. So you want to aim for 5 to 7 portions of vegetables daily.
Okay. 5 to 7 though. I thought it was just 5, but it's changed, is it?
Yeah. For optimum health, it's about 7.
Yep.
Yeah. And then 2 portions of fruit. So 1 should be berries.
Okay.
Smashed fish. So that's salmon, mackerel, anchovies, sardines and herring.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, I like salmon. Does smoked salmon come in that as well?
If it's what you fancy, then
Yeah. Okay.
that's fine. Lots of fibre, so beans, pulses, whole grains. Eating protein with every meal helps you to feel fuller for longer.
Okay.
So then you're less likely to snack and reach for sugary foods.
Yeah.
And you can include smoothies every morning so that you get your, a dose of fruits and vegetables then.
Okay.
So, yeah, and also, you have to think about the gut-brain connection. So, your gut has 80% of your immune system.
Yeah.
And also 95% of your serotonin, which is your feel-good chemical, is produced in your gut. So you really want to look after your gut health, reduce alcohol, because that actually aggravates your gut. Reducing sugar intake, reducing gluten, these are all things that can affect your gut health.
Okay.
And then eating things like probiotic foods can be really helpful as well.
Any tips on probiotic foods? What would they be?
Like sauerkraut.
Oh, so fermented stuff then. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, this all sounds very, very good. Now, how easy? Because a lot of people will say, "Oh, it's too difficult to do that. I'll just buy a ready meal, stick it in the microwave. It's easier."
Yeah.
What's your answer to that? How can we get some healthy stuff that's easy and tasty as well?
I think you've just got to be prepared. So, even like from a cost perspective, you can bulk buy lentils, beans. You can get meats, like grass-fed meats, and you can make your own stews, you can make your own soups, chilies, and bulk cook everything on a Sunday. You can get the kids involved, and then freeze it into portions so that you've always got a healthy meal in the freezer that you can just defrost and cook.
That's a good tip. That, and so I like getting the children involved as well. I don't like getting them involved. They do get involved. It's slightly more difficult, but I like the idea of getting them involved, because certainly what we found, if they are responsible for what's going in the food and making it, they're more likely to eat it.
Yeah, definitely. And you can teach them as well. You read the different food groups and what they contain. So like red different, like red foods, orange foods, purple foods. They all have a different function in the body, so it just helps them to connect with that as well.
Okay, and just going back to the alcohol side of things, because I mean, we all know we should eat healthy. We all know we should eat these things. We all know we should drink less. And in a normal year, a lot of people may be doing dry January, veganuary, or just living a healthier life. But at the moment, I think a lot of us feel if we've made it from getting out of bed in the morning to the evening without any sort of a meltdown, we've done really well. So we deserve a beer, a glass of wine, a gin, and a tasty meal. What tips have you got to kind of help people find that alternative to just reaching for a can of beer or wine or something?
So it's good to connect with the emotion that you're seeking. So are you drinking because you feel stressed, or is it because you feel sorry for yourself? Is it because you're looking for a reward? Or is it because you've had a good day?
Yeah.
It's just to connect the emotion and look at something else that you can use as a prop. So, you could have a relaxing bath, and I know that's not as fun, but it's things like that, looking how else can you reward this thing that you're looking for. Creating a different habit. So some people like to, when they think, I need a drink, they'll go and do something else completely. They might just go and read 10 pages of a book.
Yeah. Or
they might go for a 20-minute walk around the block, or meditate, or we'll just have even like a couple of squares of dark chocolate.
It's a good tip, dark chocolate. Okay.
Yeah. And also, like, if you've got an elastic band, you can ping it, so every time you think about a trigger thought, just ping it and then think, oh no, I'll think about something else instead.
That's a good tip. I'm worried about how many times I'd ping myself though. But it's I spoke to a friend of mine yesterday, actually, just on the drinking subject, because I'm really cutting down drink, and he is as well, and we both concluded that a lot of last year and into this year we were drinking too much, not to sit at home and get hammered, but because we felt we deserved it. So having even 3-4 cans in an evening, and we associate the fact it's like your busy day, you've got the children to bed, crack open the can and drink, and so he's replaced alcoholic beers with alcohol-free beers, and he still gets that crack in the can. So alcohol-free beers all right for you?
Yeah, I'd say they're fine. They're a good alternative. There's a lot of botanical drinks now as well.
Seedlip.
I think I've seen in Waitrose they have a lot of alcohol-free botanicals, which you can put into a nice glass, and it can have the same.
I have tried Seedlip, and I was mightily disappointed. It tastes good. It tastes very good, but when I'm paying that much for a bottle of something, I want it to be alcoholic. I don't want it to be alcohol-free. So, but I think
might be a cheaper alternative.
I think so, yeah. But I know with a lot of people, it's not they're dependent on the alcohol. It's that association between the brain and you deserve this. So finding something else to do. Okay.
Yeah, just finding something else to do.
Okay. Now, the last point then, because we've talked about sort of mental health, and on one of these lockdown sessions before, you mentioned eating badly, eating carbs is not good for your mindset as well. So the foods you've mentioned are obviously good for that, but what can we get to kind of substitute the fact that we want to go and get something tasty, like a McDonald's? Let's face it, a lot of people do like the taste of that. How can we create something really tasty that's going to be healthy and help our minds?
Okay, so I mean, there's healthy alternatives if you're looking for, junk food. There's loads of recipes online that you can, you can buy your own grass-fed beef, for example, and you can make some nice patties with that.
Okay. So make your own burgers, you mean, yeah?
Yeah, make your own burgers. It's really easy to do. You just get the ground beef, or you can use ground chicken as well. You can put herbs and spices in there and just put it into patties, and then you bake it in the oven. Some people like to put an egg in there as well because it binds.
Okay.
I don't know. And then you could have some home-baked sweet potato chips as well that you can...
we've tried those at home, okay.
Yeah, have a side of, homemade guacamole or some salsa and...
And also, homemade Chinese or Indian.
Yeah, you could do that as well.
I think there are, if people can find some simple recipes, and then you know what's gone into it. And I must say I haven't ever been organised to cook or prepare on a Sunday, but if we could, prepare like a Chinese and various other things and some burgers on a Sunday in the freezer, then when you are feeling like you want that McDonald's or takeaway, you get something out of the freezer.
Yeah, exactly. You've got it there ready. Because
Okay.
the key is to be prepared, really. And I've had a few clients who, they've got 2 young kids, they're homeschooling, and they're really stressed, and they've gone to the bother of cooking on a Sunday, for example, and they said the stress has just gone from the week because they've just got the meals there in the fridge and they don't even have to think about it. So.
Definitely, it's that opening your fridge. Right, what's for tea? Okay, it's it's all.
Let's get takeaway.
Well, exactly. Yeah. I had one other question. Oh yeah, that's it. No, I've got a clay pizza oven for Christmas, which I love. Goes up to 500 degrees C, and I can make some really decent pizzas on it. Homemade pizza, healthy or not?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, you could. I would probably use spelt flour instead of wheat.
Spelt flour, okay.
Because it's an ancient grain, and a lot of wheat now is really processed, and that's one of the things that breaks down your gut.
Okay.
That can lead to, anxiety and mental issues. So I definitely go for spelt. And
in the actual dough itself, yeah.
Yeah, you can make the dough, so you buy some yeast.
Yeah.
Some health shops sell the actual fresh yeast, but you can do the dry packet yeast as well. And then you follow the instructions, make a pizza dough, and then you can, I like there's Mr. Organics tomato sauce because it doesn't have any sugar in.
Yep.
And the Waitrose own brand organic one as well doesn't have any sugar in.
That's a good point there, because a lot of people get like a can of tomato sauce or whatever else and not realise how much sugar and salt is in it. They think it's healthy because it's tomato. I was shocked when I looked at a couple of cans. Okay.
It has to be less than 5 grams for it to be considered low sugar.
Yeah.
So you can make your own. So I like to make my own. So just a tin of tomatoes, and I fry some onion and garlic and put the tomatoes in, and I just let that simmer for about 10 minutes, and put some dried herbs in, and then you can make your own toppings then, and you've got complete control over how much cheese goes on there.
Excellent. All right, that's a good tip. At least I can keep using my pizza oven anyway and pretend it's Domino's or something. Actually, it's better than Domino's. So.
Definitely.
Okay. Now, Mel, where can people find out a bit more about you and what you're offering? And you mentioned you had like a sort of a 5-day thing people could sign up to and have a look at.
Yes, I've got a 5-day meal plan called Love Your Lockdown Body, and it's all high protein, low carb meals that you can use, and there's a few tips in there as well, things like if you buy a whole chicken and you roast it, then you can use that chicken like stir fries and other bits and bobs. So that's downloadable. And then there's my website, melodyevansnutrition.com.
Okay.
And I've got a Facebook page under the same name and an Instagram page under the same name.
Okay.
And I'm on LinkedIn as well. So.
Excellent. So lots of places. All right. Well, I shall put your web address and your that link to the 5-day meal plan in the comments for this as well, so people can have a look at that. That sounds very useful for people as well. So.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Excellent. All right. Well, thank you for your time, Mel. That's been very, very, very useful.
Brilliant. Thanks, Tim.
Okay. Thanks.